Hi, everybody. This is Christian-basel with Mark-Who42, and we just want to take the time to thank everybody who's contributed to our show to ensure that we continue to bring you the latest news, reviews, and interviews throughout the Whoniverse and beyond, like our friends at Audible.com. Right now, you can actually go there and get a free 30-day trial and a free download. Just simply go to audibletrial.com/Mark-Who42 and sign up, and that's all you have to do. And if you'd like to contribute directly to the show, go to www.mark-who42.net and hit the donate button on the far right-hand side. Contribute whatever you can give us so that we can bring you this show. Thank you again for everybody who contributes, and thank you for listening.
Sam Summers from 0800 TARDIS, and you guys are listening to Mark-Who42.
Welcome to Mark-Who42. I'm your host, Mark Baumgarten, and we've got Doctor Who on the brain here on Krypton Radio. Who else do we have on the show today?
Patricia-Helm, and I always have Doctor Who on the brain.
You always have Doctor Who on the brain. Trish, I think it's just us.
Nope, you can't get rid of me that easily. It's Eduardo-m-Freyre, and I've got a lot of stuff on the brain.
That's scary. That's very scary.
Scary, Mark? That's scary. Do you want to know what's on my mind?
Not
it's
really.
A happy place.
Not really. I heard someone else's voice. Who are you?
Hey, this is Christian-basel, and I want to personally thank the Doctor for stopping Hurricane Erica from coming on land.
Well, it never actually became a hurricane. It was a tropical storm, and now it's a tropical wave, and it will be causing flooding. So bye-bye, Erica. And hello, Fred. Hurricane Fred, we're welcoming you to life.
Oh, why?
Please stay away from Florida, because we have special things going on. On today's show, we've got Sam Summers, who is from New Zealand, and basically he runs 0800 TARDIS, which is a Doctor Who website and
breakfast bar.
A breakfast bar, yeah, pretty much. He'll talk to us about.
And you didn't bring me back any of the deviled eggs. You didn't bring me back any of the. You went to a breakfast bar. You didn't bring me back any deviled eggs. Okay, fine. Be that way.
He'll be talking about fandom in New Zealand, and it's a really good discussion. But first, I think I see number 8 approaching.
And now it's time again to go to the Whoniverse and beyond with Mark-Who42 news correspondent Patricia-Helm. Wait a minute. Patricia, I know you. Wait a minute. Yes. You kiss me. You had better kiss than Grace.
Well, Doctor Who has been nominated for some BAFTA awards.
Woohoo!
Specifically, it's the BAFTA awards that are for shows that are made in Wales. Unfortunately, they did not get nominated for Best Drama, but Peter and Jenna, they've both been nominated for Best Actor and Actress in a Drama. Mm-hmm. Will Oswald has been nominated for Best Editing for Dark Water. And Last Christmas got nominated for Best Special and Visual Effects. And Deep Breath got nominated for Best Titles and Graphic Identity.
What does that mean?
Didn't have an identity because didn't know who it was until we saw the titles.
Graphic Identity. It's like, hey, you know that title page? That was an awesome title page. Good for you. That kind of what we got going on?
I think it's because it's the first episode that had the new title sequence, right?
Okay. The title sequence is an amazing title sequence, and it would be great if that's what it was.
I was thinking more or less that, remember that scene in Closing Time when the Doctor mentioned that he had a name tag in case he forgot himself? Then there you go, so you can look down and see who he is.
We hope that Doctor Who wins these categories, and we'll find out soon.
Moving on, we all talked about the Lego deal with BBC last week.
Uh-huh.
Well, we have found out that everything will be available by Christmas.
Oh.
So I know what I'm getting everybody for Christmas.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Wow.
We're very happy to.
That set that has like all the 12 Doctors. I want it. I want all 12 Doctors in Lego form.
Well, Christmas is coming soon, so you'll get them. All right?
Yes.
Right
around the corner. I've already seen some stuff in the stores. And
really?
That makes me sad. Yeah, I know. It's weird to see Halloween stuff and Christmas stuff right next to each other.
And hey, we're already seeing the Star Wars toys are supposed to be coming out too. Oh, God. My wallet is looking at me like, why? Stop. It hurts.
Yeah, I'll just have a direct deposit to every toy store in Orlando.
Pretty much.
Well, our good friend of the podcast, Lisa Bowerman.
Oh, yeah, Lisa. How's Lisa doing?
Well, she's doing well, actually. Her character, Bruce Summerfield, is going to be appearing in a new 12th Doctor novel. It's called Big Bang Generation. Mm-hmm. It's written by Gary Russell. Yeah. And the paperback comes out September 8th, but the audiobook will come out October 1st. And Lisa Bowerman is actually doing the audiobook.
Well, that's nice. It's good to know that Lisa Bowerman is going to be. Funny thing you bring it up, because I will be selling some of those novels at Space Coast Comic-Con, the convention that we're doing in the Space Coast on the weekend of the 12th and 13th of September. It's going to be Patrick, myself, and Christian, and we hope you come by. We're going to have the match game and a panel on Sunday. It's going to be fun, and you can buy the Benny Summerfield Doctor Who book.
You want to explain the match game? We just don't throw it out there.
Have you ever seen that game? It's been on Game Show Network. It's with Gene Rayburn, and it's with a panel of 6 people, and basically there's a sentence read with one word missing. And like, I went to the doctor because I had a backache, but the doctor said, you don't have a backache, you have a blank, and then you fill it in. Well, we're doing a Doctor Who version of that, and we're going to have to take 2 people to compete, and there'll be a prize, and it's going to be fun. Back to the news.
Lisa Bowerman is asking, though, does this make her canon?
I think it does. It's BBC Books. So, BBC.
That's what I would think so.
Oh, God, she's canon. Ed, agree with me. She's canon no matter what happens.
I don't see any reason why she couldn't be canon.
Peter Davison, he has a book coming out. He has written an autobiography. It's titled The Fifth-ish Doctor. And it's going to be published in April of 2016.
Right,
and
but I found out that you can only get it in England so far. You can't get it on America Amazon. You can't pre-order it there.
Well, the book will feature a foreword by David Tennant, former Doctor, and his son-in-law. So that'll be good, too.
Yeah.
And Colin Baker, he's doing something interesting.
Oh, yeah?
He's going to star in a new horror comedy movie. His character is described as an ancient demon intent on bringing about the apocalypse.
I like that. Colin Baker, a demon. Yeah.
Bringing the apocalypse.
And the movie's expected to come out in the fall or the winter of next year.
Cool.
And this is the description that was released. On the brink of divorce from his wife Joanna, selfish slob Simon Fisher reluctantly agrees to attend a Halloween supper with his snobby next-door neighbors, Phil and Pam. When Simon and Joanna arrive, they meet the 5th guest, a mysterious old man. The stranger is in fact a demon intent on imprisoning them in the house until midnight, when he will decide which one of them to possess for the next 100 years. A horror comedy that plays on the prejudices we have for the people next door. Best get to know your neighbors, as you may need them someday. We all love the website Doctor Who TV.
Doctor Who TV is a good site. I kind of like it. I know you guys love it, though.
Hey, it's a great site. They've got some good articles on there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, guest contributors and everything. It's really good. And they had one recently, which, usually I don't report so much on what people contribute because it's really just all opinion pieces. But I thought this one was interesting because one of the guys on there, he got to go to an early screening of The Magician's Apprentice at the Edinburgh TV Festival. And he actually gave some spoiler-free thoughts on what he thought. And I think some of them are pretty interesting. This is what he had to say. He said it felt different in the same way Deep Breath felt different. It feels like a new era of Doctor Who with a new version of the Doctor. Clara and even Missy go with it. It had a real confidence about it. He does say it's a bit slow initially with quite a lot of build-up, but there are plenty of nods, surprises, and crucially, gags to keep you entertained.
As long as the build-up was not as slow as Dark Water, then I'll be fine. As long as it wasn't 90% setup and a little scene at the end going, hey, guess what? I'll be fine.
He says it's a fantastic mixture of one-liners. Michelle Gomez and her superb collection of accents gets the best ones, of course. Right. So does that mean she's going to be changing accents through the show? I don't know. And it has a very gritty premise.
Yeah.
So it felt like a finale with those kind of stakes. It had a blockbuster-like feeling, but at the same time, some really classic era vibes.
I can't wait to see the story.
Yeah, he says that Peter Capaldi is exceptional.
Well, we all knew that.
He said that Michelle Gomez gets one of the most risque gags since the Doctor's excited screwdriver in the Crimson Horror.
Oh, dear.
I'm like,
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Ay.
Well, I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Now, also, they released a couple of pictures that are supposed to be from the prequel called The Doctor's Meditation. That's the one that's supposed to be shown with the Dark Water, Death in Heaven 3D show that they're doing in the theaters. Did you see the pictures?
No, I have not.
One of them shows the Doctor with a character character of Bors, played by Daniel Hoffman-Gill. It's, obviously in the Viking era and everything like that. But the Doctor's holding a chalice, and it looks exactly like the one that Paul McGann drinks from in Night of the Doctor. So I'm saying, is this just a reused prop, or is it something more? Because the character of Bors is from Arthurian legend, and he was with the group that finds the Holy Grail, and so some people are thinking, is this a Holy Grail thing?
Right.
Is this the cup that the Doctor drank from, or is it the one the Master might have drunk from? Who knows? And is it all one and the same? Does this turn out to be the Holy Grail?
Well, there is a precedent, though, for Doctor Who kind of having his hand in a lot of historical events. So they may pull that chestnut out and make it that, the Holy Grail was a Time Lord artifact.
Well, that picture was interesting. Now, the other one that they released, it's odd because it shows the Doctor with like a group of, looks like people from the village, but they're all carrying shovels. I don't know why they would release that picture, because it just, I don't know. It has no context, and it just
no context.
What are they doing?
They're going to shovel some of that manure that's going to be no.
Maybe they're all heading for Moffat.
Yeah, that's where my joke was going before I stopped it.
He's stuck again. Let's go dig him out.
Oh yeah,
stuck in a plot hole.
Oh, he's stuck in a plot hole again. Let's go get him out. Oh, how big is it this time? It's pretty deep. We're gonna have to get the ladder.
Okay, so shall I go on to some Beyond the WHOniverse stories?
Yes, let's go Beyond the WHOniverse. That too.
Well, I'm really excited about this first story. Amazon Studios is teaming up with Paramount Television. They're going to be making a Galaxy Quest television show.
Yeah, you know what? I'm having a thing with the Galaxy Quest TV show, because what are they going to do? Are they going to do them going to conventions and things that happen to them after the show is over? Or is it going to be a TV show based on the TV show that they were supposedly doing? Because if they are, that's Star Trek. Why do you have to do it?
That's unclear. They don't know.
I can't understand how they can do that. It just doesn't make sense.
There's two ways that this could happen. Number one, it could be keeping the whole thing going with how the movie did it, and have like them going to conventions, and maybe just a continuation of the whole they're considered heroes by like different alien races. Mm-hmm. Another thing they could do is this could be the fictional show that the movie talked about, and
right.
What we could then get is a parody, sort of a loving, joking homage to the original Star Trek,
I guess.
So they do have comic books out. They have the Galaxy Quest: The Journey Continues. That's published by IDW, and
right.
That was the name of the show at the end of the movie. When they brought the show back, it was Galaxy Quest: The Journey Continues. I hope it's good. That's all I can say. And the other story I want to talk about is Captain America Civil War. Because on our website, Ed put up some pictures that are concept art that basically show where all the characters, which side that they lie on. So it had Iron Man, his side. He had War Machine, Black Widow, Vision,
right.
and Black Panther. And Captain America has Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Sharon Carter. But missing from both groups were Spider-Man and Scarlet Witch. So, Ed, you're the expert on this. Where do you think they're going to fall?
That's kind of weird. I know that in the comics, Spider-Man started with Iron Man and then jumped to Captain America's side. I don't know. I could see the same thing happening again, where he starts with Iron Man's side, but then something makes him defect to Cap's side. Especially if he's treated as like a new hero, then I could see where there might be something where, Iron Man's like, hey, come with us. And then something happens and Captain America is just like, no, you'll want to be on my side. You don't want to be with these people.
Ed, for those who don't know what the sides are, could you explain that?
Well, okay, in the comics, it was all about something called the Superhero Registration Act. There was a battle between some villains and a group of heroes called the New Warriors that resulted in massive civilian casualties, and people just wanted some oversight.
Wasn't it at a school? So a lot of kids died.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, there were some kids that died too. So, that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. It's in comics, you always have these giant superhero battles, and this was like the first time there was a huge amount of casualties, and people were just like, look, something has to be done. But
now my question is, when the superheroes fight in New York City and buildings get wrecked and stuff, that's a lot of people that's casualties too. This is the first time they've made a big deal about the casualties.
Yeah. Well, The difference with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the consequences.
No, I'm talking about the comics.
Yeah, no, this was the first time they made a big deal about casualties of a superhero battle. I remember there was a comic book called Damage Control, which was actually about a company that would repair stuff after one of these.
Collect that.
Yeah, it was done very tongue-in-cheek. Heck, they even did one a couple of years after Civil War, and it was still tongue-in-cheek. Heck, it had the Chrysler Building coming to life and demanding the ability to go on vacation. So that tells you where the comic is coming from. But Civil War, it was putting a sense of reality into the superhero world in the sense that these things don't just happen in a vacuum. But yeah, as far as the sides, Iron Man's side is pro-registration. They think the Superhero Registration Act is a good idea, that you have to register with government, you have to undergo training. Captain America's side is anti-registration and kind of falls under the thinking of, well, this is about civil liberties. You shouldn't force someone to work for the government just because, they have these abilities.
I'm on Cap's side.
Yeah, I was always on Cap's side, and, at least in the comics, the way Iron Man was written, it was this sort of all or nothing, and even to the point where he was arresting people he worked alongside. There was an issue of Spider-Man where Spider-Man and Iron Man took a tour of the holding facility, Prison 42, and you had people in very inhumane conditions, and I'm like, how is Iron Man supposed to be the good guy in this? And part of it is I just blame the writing. A lot of the writing did not do a good job of making it fair and balanced. But as far as the movies are concerned, I would say Civil War is probably going to be a very different animal in the sense that part of the comics was that the heroes have these identities, these secret identities, and, they need to be out in the light of day. But that's not been an issue for the movies. So, like, for example, Spider-Man is going to be introduced with Civil War, but I don't think we'll have something like in the comics where in a big press conference he'll reveal his secret identity to the world. Again, that's not something that is a focus in the Marvel movies. I think it's going to be more just a focus of, okay, you have all these people doing all these giant battles, there needs to be an accountability.
Right.
So that's probably where they'll be going. It's more about an accountability issue than you're running around fighting crime and wearing a mask, Why do you have to wear a mask?
Basically, that's what the storyline for the Civil War was. And then, and of course, spoiler, I won't give the spoiler, but at the end of the Civil War storyline, something really, 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 really bad happens to a character that, well, I'm not going to get on that. But
post-Civil War, there was a major event that pretty much shook the Marvel Universe.
Pretty much shook the whole Marvel Universe. Yeah. I mean, so did the Civil War.
Yeah, but this was kind of twisting the knife even further.
Yeah.
I did say Spider-Man probably would start on Iron Man's side and defects to Cap. As far as Scarlet Witch is concerned, she was not a part of the original storyline. At this point, she was missing. But I could see in the movies, I could see her siding with Cap, because Age of Ultron, we did see that she and her brother had a beef with Tony Stark, so I don't think she'll go with Iron Man. And we do notice Thor and Hulk are also absent. I wouldn't be surprised if Thor is just completely out of the loop the entire film. There was a rumor that Mark Ruffalo was running around set. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Hulk per se. Maybe we do get a scene where both sides try to find Bruce Banner and Bruce is like, hey, I'm not in on this. You don't want me on this. And then the weird part is Black Panther. The fact that the art shows him on Iron Man's side. Because somebody on the production had said that Black Panther was going to be more his own side, a third party. So although maybe it's one of these things where Iron Man kind of tries to get him to ally with him, because, again, Age of Ultron, one of the subplots was stolen vibranium, which may have come from his country of Wakanda, so maybe that's the thing. Iron Man's like, hey, I could get it back for you.
So we have this to look forward to coming soon in the next year.
Yeah, in May.
Captain America Civil War.
In May. I'll be really curious to see how it affects Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, it will.
Yeah.
It definitely will. They like to carry that on.
Well, the story for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Season 3 is about S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to get more of the Inhumans. And even the character of Skye, a.k.a. Daisy, having her own little squad that Coulson told her to set up. So we'll see how Civil War and the Registration Act affects Coulson's team. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see, divisions there.
All right. So want to get on to the birthdays?
I would love to get on to the birthdays.
Okay. Well, we have 2 coming up. On September 7th, we have Toby Jones, the Dream Lord.
And Arnim Zola, so back to Marvel.
And Dobby from Harry Potter.
True.
We should get him socks for his birthday.
I don't think so.
And then on September 9th, we have Janet Fielding.
Oh, crikey! Oh, we'll throw a shrimp on the Barbie for her.
Get her some shrimp. Get Toby Jones some socks.
Okay.
Shrimp and socks.
And lager for both of them. Plenty of lager.
That's all the birthdays, but someone just sent me this, and do you have anybody have an extra 1,000 pounds just around that they want to spend?
I always do.
No.
My back pocket.
Of course you do. You keep all the pounds, and then we're,
I keep all the pounds, and I don't lose weight. It's not good. But
those are not the pounds we're talking about, and you know that. Every time.
What can I do with 1,000 pounds?
On
Trish?
the UK version of eBay, someone is selling the first Doctor Who annual book, and it's autographed by William Hartnell. Yeah,
1,000 pounds.
That's
wow,
that's a lot, but yeah,
that's a lot.
That's the starting bid.
Oh my
that's
god,
the starting bid too. I'm not surprised that nobody's bid on it yet.
I don't think anyone's going to bid on that. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. Our economy doesn't really let that happen.
Anyway, but that's all the news and birthdays and everything.
Cool. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have got our special interview with Sam Summers of 0800 TARDIS, and we're going to talk about fandom in New Zealand and a lot of other Doctor Who stuff. So stick around. We'll be right back on Krypton Radio. Attention all Whovians! While you're waiting for the new episode of Doctor Who, start your own adventures with a book from Mark Who 42 Books. They carry unique and rare books at affordable prices. Visit Amazon.com/shops/MarkWho42. That's Amazon.com/shops/MarkWho42. Mark Who 42 Books. Set your imagination free into the Whoniverse.
Now for a behind-the-scenes look at Geekcast Radio Network's newest show, Talking in Circles.
That was good. So, Chuck, Greg, what are you guys thinking for this week's show?
Well, Dan, how about we just talk about the things that we've read or watched this week?
We do reviews like that every week, Chuck. How about a game like Fact or Fiction or The Power of Names? Those are great, and we're always coming up with new ideas for games. And how about some top fives? You know how I love my top fives.
What about tournament-style brackets, or sequel, reboot, and destroy? Who will win in a fight? Taking it too far? Crazy but true news? Or
yes, it appears we have lots of things to work on.
Listen to Talking in Circles, taking timeless topics in new directions. Every Tuesday on iTunes or GeekCastRadio.com, the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey, Dan, who's the guy with the creepy voice?
It's Showtime Synergy. The latest review podcast from the Geekcast Radio Network is here. So join TFG1 Mike, Nicole Hailstorm, and myself, Lady Rec, as we will be reviewing all 65 episodes of Jenna and the Holograms in a 25-episode-long podcast. You can find Showtime Synergy on iTunes and GeekCastRadio.com. We are the truly outrageous podcast that you want to be listening to.
Hello, this is Ian Hallard, a.k.a. Alan Adale, from the Doctor Who episode Robot of Sherwood, and you're listening to Mark Who 42.
Welcome back to Mark Who 42 on Krypton Radio. I'm your host, Mark-Baumgarten. With me are Christian-basel and Patty-Hawkins. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
And we have very special guests all the way from New Zealand. We're going halfway around the world for this interview. We have Sam Summers of 0800 TARDIS. Hi, Sam.
How's it going, Mark? It's going great down here in New Zealand.
Halfway around the world, I mean, it's kind of like time travel, because while we're recording this, it's getting to be evening, and by you, it's morning the next day.
I know. 11
You're in another world. We're talking timey-wimey right now.
Exactly. And that's the thing, Monday, so far, it's a good day.
That's good. So, Sam, back, I think it was 2 years ago now,
coming up 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years. You had Christian and I on your show, 0800 TARDIS.
Oh, yes, when we were at our Levin studio, when I was still living up in Levin.
Yeah. And we did that, and we promised you that we'd reciprocate, and like I said, it's 2 years later. So, hey, we're reciprocating. You're on. Hey.
Finally.
Well, the rate of exchange.
Yeah, there you go.
The dollar isn't what it used to be.
Well, it's gone down with the New Zealand. I think it's only about 70 cents US now.
So, Sam, tell people out here who are listening to Mark Who 42 about your video webcast 0800 TARDIS.
Okay, now what I have wanted to do for a very long time was basically look at video broadcasting. I have tried to look at getting into radio or television journalism, but I mean that's very hard in New Zealand with a small market pool. And so I thought, well, go down the alternative thing. And I've noticed in 2012 there was a lack of New Zealand-based Doctor Who fan stuff. Mm-hmm. So what I decided to do was I was going to look at, well, why not sit there and do something? In February 2012, I came across the 0800 TARDIS ads for the New Zealand Superannuation Fund that they got Tom Baker to come over to New Zealand to film a couple of ads in 1987. So I thought, well, and so I rang the phone number and it wasn't connected. So I hummed and hard for a month. I put in the porting request, which 0800 in New Zealand is our toll-free suffix for toll-free calls. So I thought I'll put it in and see what I got. And I got the phone number, scarily enough.
So basically, if we're in New Zealand and we call 0800 TARDIS, we get you.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah,
wow.
Pretty much.
That's cool.
I know.
We got to do something like that with us, guys. We got to do a Mark Who 42.
I don't want some stranger calling me in the middle of the
I know.
night.
That's true. I don't want strange calls all through the day.
Yeah. I don't worry. I think it goes to answer phone. Yeah, so I've decided to create a branding off it, which was when the Facebook page, because I was thinking, what the hell do I call this Facebook page for New Zealand? I thought, hey, why not call it unique? So I've called it 0800 TARDIS. Since then, there have been about 5 other New Zealand Doctor Who Facebook pages come up, but 0800 TARDIS still is the top in New Zealand at 12,000 likes.
Wow.
We have also sat there and gone with a website, which we got the website in 2013, and we've had that going, which is 0800tardis.co.nz for New Zealand. And then we decided last year, and it finally happened this year, we were going to branch into becoming a official non-profit organisation. So in New Zealand, you have the title incorporated, means you're a non-profit, but you've got limited liability.
Right.
So we went down the process. We got 15 members. I think we actually ended up with 18. Sat there, sent off the application form, sent off the check to Auckland, which is where the company's office is, and they've officially set us up as a non-profit organisation. So we are officially now a separate legal identity. And, you can probably guess what position I got was the president.
I like that. We got to look into that, guys. We got Mark Who 42. Well, we're gonna incorporate this at some time, but non-profit. I don't think we want non-profit. I think we want to make some money, Sam.
Yeah, but if you're non-profit, you don't get targeted by the tax department. I mean, the IRD is what they call it in New Zealand. They call it the IRS in the United States. But basically, if you what's called non-profit, if you don't make money, they're not going to audit you for not making money.
Right. And I heard recently that the BBC is going to be coming down on Facebook pages and other organizations that are using the word TARDIS. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. However, I think under the Intellectual Property Act, I'm covered.
I think you are, actually.
The word TARDIS, I know it's not trademarked in New Zealand, but it was trademarked in the UK. I do know that. But the word 0800 TARDIS has no trademark under the UK law when I looked at it, and now it has the legal protection in New Zealand because it's an incorporated society.
Right.
And that's how the British-New Zealand War began.
Oh, that's back in the 1860s.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's how the second one began.
Second one starts, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think, and then we were very alongside with Mother England.
Yeah.
So much for Hobbit sequels.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, are there going to be Hobbit sequels? You are in the land of Middle Earth.
Well, I'm actually in the city where Peter Jackson lives as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you ever see him around?
No. No. I just know that, I do occasionally. I know where Weta Workshops are, and I do 2 jobs, and one of my second jobs I do part-time is delivering for Domino's Pizza, and the security guard regularly gets Domino's delivered to Weta Workshops. So, it's quite funny that, I've met the security guard at Weta Workshop quite a few times.
Wait. You have Domino's?
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Oh, come on, it's New Zealand. Of course we have Domino's. We've got...
I know. Trust me, that's one of the things that my fellow countrymen that always blows their mind. Whenever they go to another country and they see one of our brands there, it literally melts their head. They're like, dude, I'm in Japan. They got Kentucky Fried Chicken here.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Like, we've got that. We've got Pizza Hut. We've got McDonald's, Subway. I don't know. I'm not sure if Peter Pit's I'm not sure what country that brand is, but that's a big one in New Zealand. I don't know what else is big in here. I do know Wellington's the best, capital for coffee in the world. The best coffee capital, they call it.
Okay.
Have those guys.
Is there a Starbucks?
Yes, but I wouldn't bother going to Starbucks in New Zealand.
I'm thinking you run into Peter Jackson at Starbucks.
Oh, get real. He'll go to a local cafe. That sort of man. I mean, why would you want to go to a Starbucks? I mean, my other job, which is working for BP.
Because you can afford it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I work for BP, and actually, we were rated in New Zealand the #1 most consistent coffee chain. And the funny thing is, I run the Johnsonville store now for the cafe side of things, and we've been said by our customers we have the best mochas in the Wellington region. So if you want a decent mochaccino and you're in New Zealand, go to BP Johnsonville.
All right, I'll go there.
I'm sold. I'm getting on kayak right now, and I'm booking my flight. That sounds good.
We'll come there. We'll have your coffee.
Oh, definitely.
Why pay coffee at minibar prices?
Oh, and now one thing in the United States, do you guys have a flat white?
Repeat that again?
A flat white?
White.
What's
What'd
that?
you say about my wife?
Yeah, don't say that about Patty's wife. You don't want to do that. That is wrong. No, I obviously we don't, because we don't know. No.
Yeah, well, a flat white, okay, here's a lot of things. We get a lot of American tourists who come to New Zealand, and they've said, we've been told we've got to try these Kiwi flat whites, and they sit there and have them and said, now they need them in the United States. This is the best coffee we can have, and this is how we want it and how we like our coffee.
Uh-huh.
Which is basically, it's got less froth than a latte.
I've never heard of flat white I've never heard of that. And it's from America?
No, that's New Zealand. I don't know why. We're big into a Kiwi flat white is very well known in New Zealand.
Okay.
Australia, you'll find it as well, but it's pretty much a New Zealand Australia thing. The flat white. I don't know why, but
this is not the coffee where the monkeys poop it out or something like that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. No,
there's nothing white about monkey pooping and coming out of there.
I want that coffee.
I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard it, and apparently it costs something like $100 a cup.
Yeah.
Do that.
Did the monkeys get paid for that, or did the owners?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a lot of money for.
It doesn't happen in New Zealand. I've just heard about it.
Okay, I think it happens. I'm not going to say where it happens because
somebody really bored, and he goes, "There's some monkeys over there. We're making coffee. Guess what?"
So Sam, if there was a facet of Doctor Who fandom that you believe is truly inimical to just New Zealand, in your opinion, what would it be?
As in where do you see them, or as in who they are?
As in who they are, like literally. It's like what would...
We still call them Whovians. There's a hell of a lot of them. We've just had New Zealand Comic Con in Armageddon, not the weekend just been, which you guys are still in, but the weekend before we had that, and the amount of people who were dressed up in Doctor Who cosplay, it was not funny. And Karen Gillan was there as well as the special guest star. Now, Westpac Stadium, which is the biggest venue in Wellington, reached capacity on the Saturday that they had to stop people from going in for 3 hours. And it was quite crazy, but the amount of people in Doctor Who cosplay, the amount of people queuing up for Karen Gillan photos, it was crazy. We've got such a big following. And when we had Jenna-Coleman in Armageddon, Auckland last year, the Saturday, they had 20,000 people went through the Armageddon Auckland venue, which was the biggest they've ever had in history.
Wow.
So, New Zealand has the fans. It's really amazing how they have it.
Were you able to do any panels or any part of the programming in
I'm way down the chain. I get media passes into there where I get exclusive, it's not exclusive filming rights, but basically I can film without having to get permission.
That's really cool.
We actually, we need to start doing, well, we have done that. We've done that. We've had shows where we've taken the recorder out and interviewed people and interviewed guests at the conventions. But yeah, that would be cool to have filming rights.
Well, I did this last year for when Jenna-Coleman was over in New Zealand, and I had the footage, first one online in 12 hours for the Jenna-Coleman panel in New Zealand, and it went viral, and it hit 6,000 views in less than 24 hours. And I was just amazed how... I was glad that I was the one who had the footage out there first. And I've done the same with the Karen Gillan panels. I mean, they've been out there. I mean, if you look at the Saturday panel from it, I have to admit it's probably not the best one because it's being filmed. I couldn't get a good enough, close enough spot, so I had to film the display, so basically screen recording it. But when I got to the Sunday, I got a much closer view, so I actually got to record the whole panel, which was very good when I actually hit it because you actually got to see a decent one. And also at the same time, they got a special guest. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of Rob Lloyd, but Rob Lloyd's an Australian comedian.
Yes.
Who looks like David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, scary enough. He looks like David Tennant. He's not far off David Tennant's age, but he came across and hosted the Karen Gillan panels.
Oh, see, that's perfect. That's funny. That's good.
It was like, he even joined 0800 TARDIS as well. So, we now have Rob Lloyd part of 0800 TARDIS as well as a member.
We got to become members too. We got to work on that, and we'll talk to you.
You've got to sort out it, because actually you won our last competition, didn't you?
I know, I won. And you know what? I got to tell you, it came to me, but unfortunately, the package got smushed by the people. So I was originally going to keep it in the box and put it up. I ended up taking out the sonic screwdriver in the book because the box was kind of damaged. Thank you.
Oh, I think that could have been how it arrived to me as well, because it arrived to me and I got it back into a decent shape for shipping. But yes, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's the post office. The post office did something. Somewhere along the way, it got smushed.
I don't know which one. Which one are we going to blame? New Zealand Post or the post office in the United States?
Well, you know what? Because I'm in the United States right now, I'm going to say your guys. Your guys.
Oh, and I'll say vice versa.
Because I get things delivered by the U.S. Post Office all the time, and they don't smash them.
You guys are not convincing Christian to send the traveling TARDIS over to Sam for a summer.
I know.
No, well, see, I usually, actually, to be honest, if I'm sending things domestically, I don't even touch New Zealand Post, actually. I touch another company, because I can get stuff that, like, call us a laugh. It's 660 kilometres from Auckland to Wellington. With one particular company, I can get it in there in 12 hours, and it takes 8 hours to drive up there.
But it was a great prize, and I want to thank you. I can't believe I won.
I couldn't believe that. It's weird. It's every single competition that I've had internationally, an international winner has had some sort of tie to 0800 TARDIS in one way or another. Like, I mean, you were in this case. We did one last year in, I think it was August. It might have been a bit earlier, but we had, Crochet Made Daleks. And it got set. Now, Cal Trick, he runs the Don't Blink Facebook page, but he was the winner. And so, and the thing that made me laugh was the UK were having their floods at the time last year, and it still got there from New Zealand to the UK in 6 days during floods.
I have to tell you, that's how quickly it got to me, too, over here.
6 days,
It was really quick. The Smashbox thing was a little sad, but it was cool. And, what's cool about it is I think the book about the sonic screwdriver, I think it was one of Richard Dinnick's books, and we've had Richard Dinnick on the show. So, it's kind of cool to have, because they put them out, and he wrote little, textbooks on what the sonic screwdriver is, what the TARDIS is, what the Daleks are, and they put them in with a little figure. And it's cool.
There's no setting for sonic screwdrivers for fixing books now?
No, the box. but see, even if the sonic screwdriver fixed the box, it's already out of the box to fix it, so then the value is gone, depreciated already. Anyway, I don't know what we're talking about. Sam,
yes.
Tell us a little about... we started talking about it. Fandom in New Zealand. What goes on?
Yes.
What kind of stuff do you have over there?
What's the most ostentatious thing that they've ever done in the name of Doctor Who?
Yeah.
In the name of Doctor Who. Well, we had the Doctor Who Correspondence Spectacular. But I think the first one we had, which was our first ever, and I think it's really our only Doctor Who convention, was when they had the Lords of Time event in Auckland.
Right.
And the same outfit that does Armageddon Expo's Beyond Reality Media, they hosted the Doctor Who convention in Auckland, where they got Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and Paul McGann, and Nick Briggs, all the way over from the UK to come to New Zealand for this event. It was like, oh my God. And Peter Davison, since then, has come to New Zealand every year for the Doctor Who Correspondence Spectacular event since. It's, and I think even Peter Davison had his birthday. It was 2013 when it happened, but he was celebrating. He said, it's the third time I've celebrated my birthday down under.
That's nice.
That's nice. Sam, we've heard about that Australia is getting the BBC Doctor Who big celebration.
On the 22nd and the 23rd of November, is it?
Right. Now, New Zealand, you're not in Australia. You're a bit away. It probably costs money to get over there. We heard that Peter Capaldi is going to take a side trip and come over to New Zealand.
He is. He's coming to New Zealand on the 24th of November, and somehow I've got to try and get myself up to Auckland again.
Oh, yeah, you've got to get a press pass. You've got to get the media pass. You got to film it.
It's a different outfit for this one. Because, I mean, Armageddon, I just flick an email and I've got one immediately, but I don't know who's got the media rights for this other one, the PR rights, I should say, but I'm hoping it's Paul Bloomfield who does Armageddon anyway, because then I know I'll just go straight through, no problem.
Right.
But I do really want to see if I can interview him, because that would be something I'd love to do. Because, I mean, I've interviewed Sarah Madison, who's played the Weeping Angel. I've interviewed Simon Fisher-Becker when he was over in New Zealand for the... actually, it was at Armageddon Hamilton I interviewed him at.
Simon Fisher is a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
We've had him on several times, and he's just amazing.
Yeah, well, he was amazed that some person in New Zealand wanted a one-on-one with him for it, and he sat there for a whole half an hour. We were talking about all sorts of things, including, at the time, was his TV show Puppy Love.
We talked about Puppy Love, too, yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Did you guys get that show down by you? Because it never came to America.
No, it hasn't come to New Zealand
either.
Shamefully, I'm going to have to say you've got to download it.
So Peter Capaldi is coming, and that's got to be amazing. I mean, he's come to America. He was just at San Diego Comic-Con in July, and before his first season started, he did that world tour and came to New York.
He also came to Sydney as well, because
he came to Sydney, right? Came to Sydney.
Yeah, didn't quite make it to New Zealand, but came to Sydney.
But I want to meet the man. I think he's a great doctor. Well, what do you think? Do you like Peter Capaldi?
I think he was built for the role.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I have to say the storylines are a little bit of a different story for the last season, but him as the Doctor, he is the best.
Okay.
For the role, for where the Doctor's life is at the moment.
That is exactly our view of the show on Mark Who 42, that Series 8, the stories were kind of iffy, but Peter was the Doctor.
Yes.
Both our shows have the same creed on this.
You'll probably find that pretty unanimous across quite a few different people across the world as well. Simon Fisher-Becker didn't want to answer that question properly. What do you think about Series 8? I think I might not say much about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I do think...
and you never know. I mean, fans in Iberia could be like, "Oh, we hate Capaldi, boy, but the script's magnificent." You know?
Oh, yeah, kill the moon. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, great, sorry.
Yeah, well, you know, we have listeners there, and I think we don't anymore.
We do?
All three of them, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have listeners in Croatia.
All over the world, we have people listening. Russia, China, Uzbekistan, Italy, a lot of South American countries listen to our show.
Yeah, actually...
You have worldwide coverage too, don't you?
Well, yes, exactly. Actually, I'm going onto the Facebook page likes at the moment because you're going to laugh at this. I think Brazil is my 5th biggest likes in countries or something in the world. I'm just going into seeing what the people data is. But, you know, currently United States is on top, followed by New Zealand, which is shameful, but hey, I'm not going to sit there and complain.
There are more people in America than there are in New Zealand. That's probably why we have more listeners, but more viewers.
Likes at this stage.
Like Facebook,
United Kingdom's number 3, Australia's number 4, Brazil's number 5.
Wow.
And then you can laugh at this, Italy's number 6.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and Canada's number 7. You know, I know the unwanted brother or sister of the United States. But I have to admit, the biggest city who still likes 0800 TARDIS is still Auckland, followed by New Zealand's second biggest city, which is Wellington, followed by New Zealand's third biggest city, which is Christchurch.
Isn't Brazil our 3rd biggest?
I think it is.
I think it is, yeah.
It is.
I was just wondering, it's like, how are Brazilians listening to us?
Think about it. When the Doctor Who World Tour went around last year, they went to Brazil.
Right, but what's the big do with us?
Place. They love Doctor Who in Brazil.
Yeah, they really do.
Us?
Actually, someone from Brazil messaged the Facebook page and said to me, I've tried ringing 0800 TARDIS, but it won't work in Brazil. What country does the phone number belong to? I said, it belongs to New Zealand. She goes, oh, do they use 0800 for the toll-free over there? She goes, yes, it's the same thing. And they've got the same sort of length phone numbers as well. Yeah, I don't know how they have it. I mean, our phone numbers are short compared to, say, your guys' phone numbers anyway. I mean, when I rang you to say you're the winner, Mark, I think I had to dial 15 numbers to ring.
Yes, you did. You did. And you had to call twice because we got disconnected the first time.
Yeah. And I showed up with a New York number on the caller ID, not a New Zealand number.
It was a Brooklyn number. I was like, is this Alyssa Stern? Who's calling me?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why.
I thought Dr. Puppet was calling me for a minute. I didn't know.
Don't worry, I scared our UK winner of that same competition as well when she sat there and saw the big long phone number show up on her caller ID as well.
Anyway.
Yes, next topic.
Next topic.
Who's been probably your favorite interview so far that you've done from your end?
And don't include Christian or I because we take the fifth on this. We know we were the best, but we won't.
Celebrity or non-celebrity?
Just whatever one delighted you the most, which you watched. Wow, that was such fun. I'd love to do that again.
I think it was the one where I managed to get Lila Hare. Now, you guys probably wouldn't heard so much about her, but she's
a politician, right?
A politician, yes.
Yeah.
Stood for the Internet Party, and I sat there and asked, could I have an interview? Because there were quite a few things that their party stood for that really kind of, Doctor Who slightly blended in. Like, one thing we have a problem in New Zealand is delayed broadcasting, and it was great to have her come out there. Now, she really wasn't a Doctor Who fan, but they brought along the Wellington Central candidate who was a Doctor Who fan.
Right.
So it was kind of quite good, and she walked into it because I was still living in Levin at the time, so we were in our Levin studio, and she sat there and walked up to the wall and she goes, now that's my doctor, pointing right up at John Pertwee. That's the one she remembered from TV. I have to admit, she probably was the best one I did. Yeah, she would have been probably my most standout interview. And it was a very different style of interview as well, compared to most of my interviews, which, I mean, most of my interviews are unscripted. They never have been. I don't even think we...
Trust me, we know the feeling.
Well, we totally, yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and she was the first one that had scripted. I did do the polite thing because we were asking about other things like education policies, that sort of thing.
Right.
One of the big things of their public policy was, I don't know what fibre optic broadband's like in Florida, but I know in the case of New Zealand, it has only just come out, but it has only come out really in the big centres. And one of the policies of the Internet Party was they said on my show that they're looking at getting 97.5% of New Zealand on fibre optic broadband within 10 years.
Wow.
Not bad. Here's a question, because she mentioned that she recognized John Pertwee. When did New Zealand actually get Doctor Who? Because, for us as the American fans, we all started with Public Network with the Tom Baker years. Did you guys get it earlier?
Yes, we were the first country in the world to get it outside of the UK in 1964.
Wow.
Oh, so you had Hartnell.
Nice.
You had Hartnell.
Yes. We had Hartnell. We didn't get all the episodes. We've got a lot of them, but and it's a lot of the ones that aren't missing we did have, because a lot of the retrieved episodes came from the Television New Zealand, which they were called the NZBC at the time. But yeah,
Right.
They basically did it. Because they broadcasted Doctor Who, all the black and whites. They broadcasted all black and whites in New Zealand when we still didn't have a integrated television network. So it was something like we had 4 different broadcasting stations, and each week, each different centre had a Doctor Who episode, and the film was like flying up and down the country. We've got satellite these days and all that. We don't have to do that. So all the black and white was done before we even had a linked national broadcast network. But then we did have a very long, we had a 5-year gap because we didn't go to colour TV till 1975. No, 1974-75. We had it for the 1974 Commonwealth Games. But we didn't fully go to colour till 1975. And when we went to colour, John Pertwee appeared back on the screens.
I heard that there was some censorship to some of the episodes in New Zealand, wasn't there? Didn't they cut some? And luckily, we got some of that footage back when we...
Yes, New Zealand was some places, so was Australia. They were there at the censorship back then, Paul Scoons actually would be a good guy to get on your show because he's probably one of the biggest researchers for New
You got
Zealand.
that, Christian? Paul Scoons. Get him. Okay.
Yeah. I'll even sit there and get hold of him, tell him about it. He told me that New Zealand was very over the top on censorship during the 60s. So if something was a little bit too scary for the censorship people, they would cut it because it was G-rated, supposedly.
Right.
Yeah, so they used to cut, there was a lot of like little missing scenes that you just sit there and you look at now. It's like they were broadcasting what was the original footage from the UK in New Zealand at the same time 30 years later with not a problem at all.
Right.
The broadcasting censorship was in the 60s was over the top.
So it was Mary Whitehouse's dreamland.
Yeah, she would have loved it there. Sam, we have to ask you this question.
Yes.
Who is your doctor?
Oh, now that's a very difficult one. That keeps changing all the time.
Let's change the question. Who was your first doctor?
First Doctor. What was the first episode I watched? It was The Five Doctors.
Was The Five Doctors?
Oh!
That's a place to come into.
Holy crap! What about going in the deep end?
The Five Doctors. Actually, you got to laugh about this one. That really confused the living hell out of my mum because she's like watching it, she's like going like da-da-da, and oh, why does someone have to sit there and ring me on the phone at home? No, I'm ignoring the phone. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Hello? 1-800-TARDIS? Hello?
0800 TARDIS, not 1-800. 0800 TARDIS.
This is Brazil.
Yeah, I watched it. So technically, the first Doctor I saw on there, I think, is Peter Davison. I do think that is the first Doctor who saw that, and that's probably why I do like Peter Davison a lot. But it was quite interesting because you sat here, you saw Peter Davison, you saw John Pertwee, you saw Patrick Troughton, you saw Tom Baker in an archive clip, you saw Richard Herndon playing William Hartnell, and my mum was like watching it, and she was like going like, "But this it, what are all these doctors meeting up?" It's like, well, it's called The Five Doctors. What do you expect? I have to admit, it was a good episode.
It was.
Did you actually understand what was going on? I mean, going into that episode, not knowing the history or anything.
No, I didn't completely understand. I gathered it was about Rassilon.
Okay.
So, yeah, that would have been my first episode. That was in 2009. And the second one I saw, which was...
Whoa. 2009?
Yeah, I got it out on DVD from the library.
So you did not watch it back in the day. You're relatively new.
I'm only 24 years old.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I didn't know you were only 24 years old, Sam. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. This interview is over.
And next week we'll have... No.
Maybe next week we'll have someone with some maturity from New Zealand.
No. Sam, I did not know that. But that's cool. You've done a lot at your age then.
Yeah, because it was 2009. I sat there. It was The Five Doctors, which I went out to the library to get on DVD. Then I watched on UK TV. It was David Tennant and Martha Jones was the Doctor and Companion, and it was one of the Dalek episodes. Angels of Manhattan. No, it wasn't Angels of Manhattan
or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the one where the Daleks were under the Empire State Building.
Yeah, the one that had Spider-Man in it. Andrew
Spider-Man?
Garfield.
Yeah.
The actor who played...
Spider-Man was in it. Yeah. Doctor Who was Spider-Man. See it.
Yeah, that was the second one. But then it was in 2010 I started working for Domino's in Levin. Scarily enough, I ended up leaving there and then came back. Yeah, and my boss, Sherry, was into Doctor Who, so she basically gave me the episodes on a memory stick. So it was about every week she was going down and she was getting bits off her 4-gig memory stick. And we were like putting them on my then laptop, and it was just like bit by bit by bit by bit, adding to the collection. So I started from Christopher Eccleston right up until Matt Smith, and then she sat there and put on some classic Doctor Who episodes where it was the bulk of the Colour Dalek episodes.
Right.
And I'd probably say that's when the passion did start, because I think 2011 was when I moved around a fair bit, 2010, 2011. 2011 I finally settled down in my rural oasis in Levin, and that was when I sat there and I did lose my job, and so I kind of was watching Doctor Who online because I was close to to a year of being like casual work and not any real work. And it was actually quite funny. The day before I started at BP, there was a friend of mine who had brought a whole heap of classic VHS tapes, when Doctor Who started being released onto video in the 90s. And so, I thought, oh yeah, and I sat there and said, we came to a deal, and I brought all of them for $200.
Oh, wow.
And I brought a whole heap of videotapes, and it was one day before I started working at BP Levin. And this was after I bought the rights to the phone number 0800 TARDIS, but this was well before the Facebook page was started. That was quite interesting that I had it, and scarily enough, a week later, I get a phone call from Grandma saying, I heard you brought a whole heap of videotapes. I go, yeah. She goes, do you want to get my old video player? So I basically went down to Paraparaumu, saw Grandma. She goes, oh yeah, grab the video player. She goes, do you have a need for a DVD player while you're there? Oh, yeah, okay, I could take the DVD player. So I had the video player and the DVD player. Came back to Levin. That was when I still only had the, the 24-inch Panasonic TV that was 20-something years old. That, don't ask me how you got digital TV through it, and we got a video player and a DVD player all working through it, but we managed to get everything working through this, like, old-as TV. Yeah, it was quite funny. And that was basically the start of it. If you look at the first couple of my web shows, when they went to my flat, they would still have the TV in the background turned off. But then I got that, I think both Mark and Christian, you were on the nice brand new 42-inch TV. That's when I did upgrade, and I did buy the different cameras.
Right. How many cameras do you have set up in your...
I use a 4-camera layout model. Yeah, 3 to 4 cameras. Levin, it used to regularly be free because a lot of my interviews were live crosses because, apart from Lila Hare and Lynn, who came to the studio? At least in Wellington, I actually get people coming to the studio. We've got the mayor of Lower Hutt, Ray Wallace, which probably means nothing to you guys, but he was born in Scotland but grew up in New Zealand, and he's a big Doctor Who fan as well. And he came across all the way from Lower Hutt, which is the next city up the road, and actually sat there and drew our competition, which, he was the one who picked you as the winner, Mark. I can tell you that.
I have to thank him. That's cool.
Yeah. He came across, because one of the things... I got Ray Wallace here. James Serap, who's my backup host for the shows now, because he also was here and we did little bits about news and that sort of thing. And it was our first live mixed show as well, because I brought a video mixer. It was a good buy on our Trade Me. That's what we call eBay in New Zealand. We have our own version. Yeah. And I found it for $500. The next cheapest price I found was on eBay was $900 US for this particular video mixer.
Sam, I want to thank you so much. Before we go, actually, I want you to once again talk about your Facebook page, your website, and your show. Do a little plug for yourself.
Okay, so our Facebook page is where you get the day-to-day information that we will share. A lot of New Zealand stuff that is shared, we will reshare, like Chris Gardner from the Waikato Times. He's one who posts stuff we'll always reshare, and we have a very good relationship with Chris. Our web shows is where we do our bulk plot of the news. We try to get, fans or, say, real celebrities from time to time on the show. We've had people from all over the world, from the United States, UK, even Croatia. We've had Australia. The website is just basically where we keep the archive folders of, the web shows, that sort of thing. You'll find them embedded onto the website. And the non-profit organisation, which is 0800 TARDIS Incorporated, we're trying to get membership numbers up because membership numbers provide subscription revenue, which basically provides our ability to keep content going. For all you international fans out there, it's $12 New Zealand a year for subs. But if you're a Kiwi, we treat Kiwis a little bit better because we don't have to deal with banks. Of $10 a year for subscriptions. And we also offer business memberships, which is at $25 a year. All of those are in New Zealand dollars, because that's the currency we deal with. We're looking at possibly saying in about 5 years' time, we're hoping to have our own proper full-fledged TV quality studio or access to a TV studio. Wow. Hopefully we'll have a television network or something who would like to support New Zealand content.
And the URL for your website is?
www.0800 or 0800 TARDIS.co.nz.
Okay.
And if you want to email me, it's sam@0800tardis.co.nz if anyone wants to email me.
All right. Well, Sam Summers, I want to thank you for coming here on Mark Who 42.
And Domino's does deliver over there.
Domino's does deliver.
Yes, Domino's does deliver. Even some good pizzas.
Do they have 30 minutes or less?
I think it'll go Highland hopping.
Island hopping, 30 minutes or less. I'm trying to think. In Wellington, we've got 4 Domino's stores. So that might be achievable, but you wouldn't want to do it in peak hour traffic.
No.
Hey.
They stopped doing that here, too. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
I think we've done another wonderful Mark Who 42 interview, guys.
We've never had an interview where it's like, you know what, we hate this. The only reason
I haven't hated it.
The only reason we broadcast it is because, this is an exercise for us. Our egos are too big and we need to show you guys that on occasion we suck. Yeah. I don't think we've ever had that, ever.
So, guys, that's the end of our show. Oh, isn't that sad? It is sad.
Of course it's sad. They can't listen to it anymore.
Well, they can.
Well, actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they can.
Totally listen to it again. You can listen to it on iTunes. You can listen to it on mark-who42.net. You can listen to it at FloridaGeekscene.com. You can listen to it at Geekcast Radio Network. You can listen to it. Oh, if you're listening to it on Krypton Radio earlier in the week, you can listen to it again on Krypton Radio. And most important of all, you can now listen to us on TuneIn Radio. Yes, we're on TuneIn Radio, folks. You can find us there. All our old episodes are there. You can listen to all of them. It's a great time. Go to our Facebook page, MarkWho42. Tweet us at MarkWho42. We are all around the net. Just Google MarkWho42 and you'll find us.
And we side with Cap.
Yeah, we side with Cap. Definitely.
With Cap.
Until next week, so long, everyone, and allons-y.
And Avengers Assemble.
That goes without saying, though, because they didn't say it in the movie, did they?
I'm still waiting. One of these movies, we're going to hear Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
In complete form.
That would be nice if we did. Bye, everyone. Mark Who 42 was written and presented by Mark Baumgarten, Patricia-Helm, Christian-basel, Patty-Hawkins, and Eduardo-m-Freyre, with Wink Taylor as the Doctor. This show was edited, produced, and directed by Mark Baumgarten. Please visit mark-who42.net and register to join and be a part of the Whoniverse Army. We can be contacted by email at mark@mark-who42.net with the subject line ? If you have worked on Doctor Who or are working on a project relating to Doctor Who and want to be on our radio show, please email our media relations director, Christian-basel, at mark-who42media@yahoo.com. Doctor Who and its properties are owned by the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. This show is owned and copyrighted by Mark Baumgarten, 2015. You're listening to Krypton Radio.